Sagama Padamare ni ni re ma Dhapa ga 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 sagapa Padamare ni ni re ma Dhapa ga 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 Mana manatil ध्यासा मधुनी उमले फलश्रुती सरस्वतीच्या गाभाऱ्यातील ज्योती फलश्रुती मना मनातील ध्यासा मधुनी उमले फलश्रुती सरस्वतीच्या गाभाऱ्यातील ज्योती फलश्रुती
Yeah, good afternoon. I hope science students have assembled here. Yeah, we have quite a few students. Science students are here. Yeah. Dear student, it gives me immense pleasure to introduce to you our first speaker, Mrs. Sharmishta Datta. Mrs. Datta is a lecturer at Swami Vivekanand Junior College, one of the reputed college of Mumbai. She has turned over 100 students scoring 95 and above in the subject of physics. She's a lover of physics and teaching is a passion. She is a postgraduate in physics. She has done her BA and has been associated with Maharashtra Board for over 20 years as an examiner, moderator, resource person, and has also conducted several activities for science students and trained the students in the competitive examination. Warm welcome to Sharmishta Madam, and it's over to you. She is going to make physics very, very easy, and I'm sure students will start falling in love not only with the teacher but also with the subject. Good afternoon, madam, and over to you.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Gole madam. Thank you very much. And first and foremost, I would like to thank the Falashruti Shikshan Mandal to make me a part of this esteemed group. And Gole madam, thank you for having the confidence in me and encouraging me to be a part of this esteemed panel. And without further delay, I think I'll just start with my screen share. And good afternoon to all of you students also. So let's begin with the screen share. Again, once more, I thank all of you from Falashruti Shikshan Mandal to make me a part of your esteemed, Mandal, your association. And the name of Falashruti is very renowned in Bombay. Definitely, I have heard of it for the past 25, 30 years. And once more, happy to be part of it. I now welcome all the students. You're very fortunate to be a part of this particular association test series. This is a subject guidance program that is being conducted by the Falashruti Shikshan Mandal. The next thing that let's see now. Why is guidance required? You have already been given an orientation, so I'm not going to take much time over here. So what is the purpose of this guidance? That is what I would just like to touch upon. Now, at the moment, your career is very important. Your parents and you yourself are, at the threshold where you are going to begin with your career. And for that, At the moment, you can see these steps, and you are probably on the second step. All right, the third, fourth, fifth steps are going to lead you to the top. That is your ultimate goal. Your career is important. You would like to have a good career, and for now, your 12th is basically the threshold or the border. Beyond this, now when you go, you are going to go forward and try to achieve your goal, whether that is a professional goal, or you want to, there are so many goals, you could be a doctor, engineer, architect. You could do your degree courses and pursue different careers over here. So the purpose of now, if I want to do a professional course, medical, or I want to go in for engineering, I have a lot of entrance exams to give, right? Oh, you have the NEET. If you want to join in the medical course, you have the CET, JE. These are for the engineering courses and the pharmaceutical course as well. And you can see behind, you can see those subjects running after you. You are trying to run away from them, but they are going to be after you in this 12th standard. All right. So what is this test series then? This test series or this guidance that we give you over here is for you to score well in your boards, isn't it? Now, our aim over here is going to be, we can just see, our aim is to guide you to get an excellent HSC result. Now, why do we need an excellent HSC result? You can say the CET entrance exams are more than enough. But let me tell you, my dear students, that not only getting into a good college, professional college is important, but that stamp of your HSC percentage, that also is equally important, especially when you go in for a job. All right, when you're going to give your resume or your CV, in that you will definitely be mentioning your HSC marks, your percentage. So it's obvious that instead of 60% and 85 or 80% and above percentage in your resume will look very good. So we are also aiming not only to create a good foundation for your physics or any subject, but also to get good HSC result, which will be helpful for you later in your career and in your life as well. So here I am going to start off with physics. All right, I am Mrs. Sharmishta Datta and I'll be guiding you, all right, in physics. So what are we basically going to do in physics? The guidance program over here, I'll just give you an idea. Today's orientation, basically guidance program, marks distribution, the question paper pattern, all right, then we have the presentation and time management. All right, these are the four uh, aspects of our test series that we are going to touch upon today. So let's begin with the first, that is marks distribution. Now for the marks distribution, let us see. The total evaluation is 100 marks. All right, for physics, it is 100 marks. Now, out of that 100 marks, theory is 70 marks, and we have practicals, which is 30 marks. So, over here at Falashruti, we are going to concentrate on the theory, that is the 70 marks. How you can get that full 70 marks. All right, that is our aim. That is where we are going to guide you to attain that full 70 marks. And practicals, most of you, I mean, I can say 90% of you, 99% of you will definitely be able to get 30. So 70 plus 30 is 100. Won't it look good in your mark sheet? 100 out of 100 in physics. So our goal here will be to help you attain that 70 marks. So let us see what this marks distribution is all about. Now you can see over here that, ma'am, I'm not getting the annotations over here. All right. See over here, you can see that there are theory marks. All right. And the theory marks have been I have subdivided into with options and without options. Now you may be wondering what is this with options and what is this without options. Now with options, you can see I have marked it as 98. That means what? Your question paper along with the choices, the total marks will be of 98. And out of that 98 marks, you can see on the left hand side box, I have given 68 to 63 T. Now T stands here for theory. And 30 to 35 marks is N, that is numericals. So your total 98 with all the choices will be divided into theory and numerical as I've shown over here. Now, when you take those choices, all right, you choose the questions that you're going to answer. Then you come to the right side. Without options, that is 70 marks. So that 70 marks you can see is bifurcated again into theory and numerical. Theory is 58 to 55 marks, whereas numericals is 12 to 15 marks. So children understand that the numericals, definitely you will have to attempt at least 12 to 15 marks, not less than that. All right. So you cannot avoid numericals at all. So some numericals you will can this audio be please switched off? And can you mute please? Okay, so 12 to 15 marks is going to be the numericals and the remaining is going to be theory. So 70 marks is actually what you're going to attempt. Now, after we have seen this marks distribution, so just keeping in mind, 98 marks is with choice and 70 marks is the one which you're actually going to attempt. Even if you write extra questions, it is still going to be, you're going to be evaluated for 70 marks, not more than that. So next is our question paper pattern. So let's see what this question paper pattern is. Now we have here total number of questions in physics will be 31. Out of that we have section A, section B, section C and section D. Okay. Now when we talk of section A, there will be question 1 and question 2, 1 mark each. Of course, question 1 and question 2, they are further subdivisions, sub questions. Section B is question 3 to question 14, 2 marks each. Section C is 3 marks each, 15 to 26 question number. And section D is question 27 to question 31, which are 4 marks each. Okay, so section A, B, C and D. This is how your paper is going to be, question paper is going to be divided. Now let us see each one separately. All right, so let's first see what is section A made up of. Now section A is made up of 10 MCQs, that is multiple choice questions, out of which 7 are theory and 3 are numericals. Then again in question, so this 10 MCQs will be question number 1. Then question 2 will be VSA, very short answers type of questions. 8 questions will be there, 6 theory and 2 numericals. And one thing important in section A is it is compulsory. There are no choices. So all the 10 MCQs and 8 very short answer questions have to be answered by you. So that is total, let us say 18 marks. I have just got some examples just to give you an idea. Okay, so over here we have, see the MCQ, which is 1 mark. Then you can just read through. Yes, ma'am.
Can you speak a little louder? Students are not able to hear. Please be a little loud.
Is this okay now?
Yeah, this is okay. Yes.
Okay, ma'am. All right. So we have MCQ is 1 mark where we have an air column in an closed. I have taken examples from superposition of waves. Okay. So when an air column in a pipe closed at one end vibrates such that 3 nodes are formed in it, the frequency of its vibrations is dash times the fundamental frequency. So A, B, C and D are given. You have to pick the correct answer. And when you're going to write, you will only be writing down the answer. All right, we'll come to that later on. See, 1 mark, very short answer. What is the distance between 2 successive antinodes? So this is how a 1 mark question will be. So you will just be writing the distance between two successive antinodes is lambda by 4, where lambda is the wavelength. That is all will be your answer. So that is how you're supposed to answer a 1 mark question. Okay. Now next, let us go to section B. Now section B is short answers. All right. And each is going to carry 2 marks. So there will be 12 short answers, 7 theory and 5 numericals. And in this case, you are supposed to answer any 8. All right. So if you go to see, now 7 plus 5 is 12, right? If you are scared of numericals, but you can solve only 7 theory, so definitely one numerical will have to be solved by you. So that is where the thing is that numericals are going to be compulsory. It is 12 to 15 marks. You will be attempting numericals. All right. Now this is, remember, SA1 means 2 mark questions. Short answer, 2 mark questions. Now let's go to an example. A theory could be like this. State any 2 laws of a vibrating string. A numerical could be a string is fixed at both ends. What is the ratio of the frequency of the first harmonic to that of the second harmonic? So you can understand a 2 mark numerical is going to be very direct and short. Not too many calculations will be asked. You see the theory question, any 2 laws. So obviously 1 mark for each law. Okay, so this is an example for section B. Now let us go to section C. So section C, there will be 12 short answers, but now the marks are 3 marks. So each question here will be 3 marks, 7 theory and 5 numericals, and again here any 8. So you have to attempt any 8. So again, numericals and theory, you can see it's going to be a mix for you. Let's see the example. 3-mark question. Explain the analytical method to determine the beat frequency. All right. And see the numerical. A pipe open at both ends has a fundamental frequency of 600 Hertz. The first overtone of a pipe closed at one end has the same frequency as the first overtone of the open pipe. How long are the 2 pipes? Velocity of sound in air is 330 meters per second. So here again, what do you see? You again see here, you can see the difference between this numerical, a 3-mark numerical and a 2-mark numerical. All right, then see the theory. Explain the analytical method. So basically, you are going to derive the expression for the beat frequency. So that becomes a 3-mark question. But let me tell you one thing, children, that even this 3-mark question can be given as a 4-mark question. The theory can be given also as a 4-mark question. It depends on the paper setter. That's all. So now after our section C, let us go to section D. That is the last section. LA stands for long answers. So there will be 5 long answer questions. You can see 2 questions will be such that each is 4 marks each. All right. So basically they will be theoretical questions, whereas 3 questions will be 2 marks theory and 2 mark numerical. Okay. And so you can see that these 3 questions where 2 mark theory, 2 mark numerical is going to be easy. And the good thing is you have to solve any 3. So if you are good at numericals, you are confident about the numericals, you solve these 3 questions which are 2 plus 2 is easier. Whereas the two questions which are 4 marks each is going to be theoretical. It will entirely depend on your confidence and how much you have studied and what topics you have studied thoroughly. So this was regarding what the question paper pattern. I hope it's clear. If there are any doubts, please make a note of it. At the end of my presentation, you can clarify your doubts. Obviously, important. Before that, let's see this example. A theory 4-mark question. Show that only odd harmonics are present in the vibrations of the air column. in a pipe closed at one end. So clearly it is a 4-mark question. Theory plus numerical, if it is 2 plus 2. Explain harmonics and overtones, that will be a 2-mark question. And a numerical has been asked. Two sound waves having wavelengths 81 and 82.5 centimeters produce 8 beats per second. Calculate the speed of sound in air. So this is a 2-mark question. And remember, when it is a 2 plus 2 type of question, it will most 90% of the time it is going to be from the same topic, from the same chapter. Okay, so you can just keep that in mind. So now you know the marks distribution, you know about the question paper, a small idea, you have got an idea of the question paper pattern. So obviously, once you have these, the next thing that comes is going to be your presentation. All right. Now, how are you going to write a paper? So here also we help you out to understand how you're supposed to present a paper. All right. How it can help you to get the maximum number of marks. So let us go into that now. So let's see. There are a few things that you have to bear in mind. Start each section on a new page. All right. Presentation is very important. So please see to it that you always start section A, whatever, even if there are a number of almost 3/4 of that page is blank, you will leave that place and you will start on a fresh page. So start each section on a new page. Begin your paper with that section of which you are confident of scoring well. Now, again, we will come to the time management later, but when you will go through the question paper, we'll automatically know that which section you feel that you can answer the best. So it is always advisable to start with that section. All right. So that is one. The reason being, when you start with you start with a question and answer which you are thorough about, your presentation is going to be very neat in the beginning. Maybe later on, as time goes, you might have to hurry, but the moment the examiner sees your paper, the first question, and sees the presentation, already the examiner feels that this is a good student, all right, and will be correcting that paper in a very good mood. So there is a bonus for you over there. Okay, now we go to the next point. Always give an introduction for derivations. Write the conclusion at the end of the derivation. Now, sometimes as examiners and moderators, we have to see to it that the student writes the conclusion. Depending on the model answer, it might come like half mark for the conclusion. So if you don't write that conclusion, that half mark gets deducted. If you don't write any derivation, always see to it that you definitely write the introduction. That is a must. Please do not directly start with a derivation. Always give a small introduction. We have some more points, so let us go further with those points. Now, when we have derivations, we have diagrams. So the diagrams should be very clear. Avoid freehand diagrams. Please, and especially where it is a 3-mark or a 4-mark question, please see to it that you draw the diagrams very neatly and very well. All right. It should create a good impression on the examiner. Numericals. Write the data clearly for numericals. Show the calculations. Do not forget to write the units in the final answer. In physics, units are very, very important. So in the numericals, at the end, please see that you write the unit. If the unit is not written, half mark will be deducted even if your answer is correct. All right. And calculations, of course, have to be shown. It is just not to be shown in rough. It has to be shown properly. If it is simple calculations, still you have to show it. If it is you're showing by log, the log calculations have to be shown very neatly. And we come to the last part. For rough work, use the last page of the answer booklet or draw a column on the right side of the page. Okay, so this is what you should always do. Rough work, take the, I would prefer that you, my advice to you would be that always draw the rough column on that particular page where you're writing, because if you put it at the last page, on the last page, every time you will have to turn to do your rough work, that takes up time. So advice is that make a rough column on that page on the right hand side, right on top over there rough, all right, and there you can do your rough work. So that would be my advice to all of you. Gole madam, Gole madam,
Yeah.
ma'am, is it possible for you to do that annotation, because I am not, I would like to do some marking. I'm not able to do
Annotation.
it.
She wants the annotation. 1 second.
Yes, ma'am.
She
I'll
wants
continue.
from here.
I'll,
Here, I don't think she'll be able to do.
I would like, I would have written on the screen. That is why.
One
If
second. Huh?
ma'am, till then I'll continue. Okay,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can just, yes, you can just see. Okay, now next what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some sample papers. Paper in the sense how the answers have been written. See how to write the MCQs. So you can see over here the statement, the question has not been written. Only the answer has been written directly. That is how you should write down. Otherwise, you are going to waste a lot of time. In physics, it is not essential for you to write the statement, but you have to write it as it's shown over here. Can you see it is written as C, periodic but not oscillatory? Both have to be written. You have to write the question answer number, that is C, and you have to write down the answer as well. If you don't write that C, A, B, A, C, all right, your answer will be marked wrong. If you don't write the statements that periodic but not oscillatory, potential energy decreases, moving up with constant acceleration, pi, minus pi, if you don't write these, only if you write C, A, B, A, C, that also you will be given 0. You will not be given marks. And you can see that we have, how many? We have 10 MCQs, isn't it? We have 10 MCQs. So obviously you will lose marks over there. So please see to it that you write your MCQs in this manner. I repeat, no need to write down the question. Do not waste your time writing down the question.
Hello,
All
sir.
right?
Mr. Madam. We
Yes,
are not
yes.
able to do that.
Okay, no problem, ma'am. I'll try like this. No problem. No problem. Thank you very much. Thank you. Now let's go to how to write the very short answers. See, the this student, she has written the answer. I've written the question on the side so you can understand. Define, now this is what? This is 1 mark question, 1 mark answer. Okay. Define linear simple harmonic motion. She has written it. That is absolutely fine. See the next one. State the formula for the period of the particle performing SHM in terms of the mass and force constant. Now here, what she has done, it is a 1 mark question. So she need not have written whatever is written on the right hand side, or she just had to write down. Unfortunately, I cannot mark over here, show it to you, but you can see T is equals to 2 pi root of K by M. All that she had to do was just write down that formula, that's all, and telling K is the force constant, M is the mass. That would be all. But what has she done? She has written all this. She has wasted time. So you are not supposed to derive, all right, or prove anything or solve anything in the 1 mark question. All that you have to do is write down the final answer. So if there is a 1 mark numerical asked, all that you have to do is just solve it in the rough and directly write down the answer. So please be aware of this. Time management comes over here also. Now let's go to the short answer 2 mark questions. So let us see what question we have here. All right, draw a graph of the variation. You can see I have taken oscillations over here. Draw a graph of the variation of kinetic and potential energy with displacement of a particle performing SHM. So see, it's a perfect graph. Just see how she has drawn it. Everything is indicated properly in the graph. Nothing else has to be done. And as an examiner, if I was the examiner, I would have given a full 2 marks for this particular diagram. So this is short answer, 2 mark question. Now, this is a short answer or a long answer. Like I told you, it could be a 3 or 4 mark question. Please see her presentation. Just see so neatly it has been done. It is obtain an expression for the time period of a simple pendulum. So you can see so beautifully she has written it. Just see her presentation. Just have a glance at it. See how the diagram has been drawn on one side, clear diagram with the scale, drawn with a scale and everything marked. Though slightly there is a mistake, I'll not point that out over here. But remaining, just see how she has written in the beginning, the introduction. All right, just see on the left hand side, then how she goes and starts with the derivation and she comes to the final expression T is equals to 2 pi root of L by G. So this is how a long answer or a 3 mark short answer, even a 2 mark short answer where they ask you a small derivation should be written. This is how it should be presented. Now next obviously will be how do you write a numerical? How will you present a numerical? This is how you will be presenting a numerical. A needle of a sewing machine moves along a path of amplitude 4 centimeter with frequency 5 hertz. Find its acceleration 1 by 30 seconds after it has crossed the mean position. So first you should write down the data. You can either write it as given or you can just write it as data. All right, just see how it's written. The data is written. What you have to find. Then write down the formula. And after that, you will be solving it. Now, when you see, as you come down, you can see the log calculations have been shown. It is very important to show these calculations. Let me tell you, children, that suppose it is a 70-mark paper, and suppose you are getting 65, 66, or even let's say you are getting 68, 69. That time, again, the paper is scrutinized. And that time, what happens? The moderator, when he or she goes through it, then he or she is going to see small mistakes. So here, suppose if you had not written the calculation, you do it in the rough, but you have not shown it over here, your marks will be deducted. So why do you want unnecessary marks to be deducted? So please do as it is shown over here. All right. So you should have the data, what you're supposed to find, write the formula, write the solution. And please remember that even if your answer goes wrong, if it's a 3-mark numerical, half mark will be for your formula and half mark will be for your substitution. So very important that you should write down the formula first, then give its substitution. So you are sure of 1 mark. Even if your numerical goes wrong, you are assured of that 1 mark. Okay, so remember, let's see what comes. A neat paper will always bring a smile on the face of the examiner. This I told you, it can be a bonus for you. So what happens then is the examiner tends to overlook small mistakes, maybe. So presentation is very important. So don't forget. So when you're practicing, when you're doing this test series, keep in mind your presentation has to be neat. All right. It should bring a smile on the face of the examiner. Please see into that. So now presentation is done. So obviously the next question will be, if I have to present a good paper and attempt all the questions, how am I going to manage the time? So let us see what we have. Obviously my next thing that I'm going to touch on is time management. So let us see what is there in this. Total time that is available to you to attempt the paper. So that is, you have given your SSC exams, all right, the year back and 1 year ago, and you had seen that before you started writing the paper, you were given 10 minutes. Same thing applies even for the 12th HSC board exam. If your papers will actually start at 11, at 10:50 a.m., you will be given the question paper and you are supposed to read through the question paper. So that 10 minutes, you are getting enough time to go through the question paper properly, see which section, which I told you earlier, you are going to attempt first. Don't panic. If you feel okay, MCQs you don't know, don't panic about that. Go through section A, section B, section C, and section D. All right. And then decide which one you are going to attempt first and then go accordingly. So once that 10 minutes is over, at sharp 11, all right, your paper will begin and you will have 3 hours to attempt your paper. All right. So let's see now, how do we time manage? How do we do that? Please remember that it is not a hard and fast rule that you have to maintain this as I'm going to show it to you, but it will give you a rough idea how much time you should give for each section. So how do you manage the 3 hours? Let us see. So section A, 20 minutes, 2 minutes per MCQ, 16 minutes for your 1 minute question, 1 mark question, 2 minutes per very short answer. Please, I'm telling you, you don't have to every time look at your watch. You should, so you see it is 36 minutes. So you should know that approximately you will have to give around 35 minutes for section A. That is how you should see it. Don't keep looking at your watch every time. There also you are losing precious seconds. Section B. Let's see. So question 3 to question 14. All right, 40 minutes you should devote to it. 5 minutes per question. So that is, it's a 2 mark question. So therefore you're going to give yourself 5 minutes for each question. Section C. 64 minutes. All right, means 8 minutes per question. See, you're making a choice, right? You're not solving all 12. You're going to solve only 8. So that is how it's been calculated. So 8 for every 3 mark question. That is what you're going to devote yourself. And finally, section D, which is the 4 mark questions, 30 minutes, 3 questions. So 10 minutes for each long answer. All right. So this is how you are going to time manage, approximately manage your time. So then let us see. So you have 36 minutes, plus you have 40 minutes, plus you have 64 minutes for section C. You have 30 minutes for section D. So that is giving you 170 minutes for answering. All right. And you should give yourself 10 minutes for checking. That is also very, very important. And one thing, children, let me tell you that when you're solving numericals, moment you have finished solving the numerical, check it that time again, once more. All right. So that you don't overlook anything while you're checking in the last 10 minutes. So numericals, once you finish, just go through it once and then go to the next question. So now you have 170 plus 10 minutes. I don't need to tell you how much that is. So that is going to be 180 minutes. That is your 3 hours. All right. So 3 hours is out of that. 170 minutes is for answering and 10 minutes are going to be for your checking. And one more thing I would like to tell you, that when you're checking, check it with your question paper. You see that question and then see whether you have written as per that question. Sometimes what happens is, we as moderators and examiners have seen that a question has 2 parts. So the student has written the first part, thought it is over, and has forgotten to write about the second part, and therefore the student loses marks. This also happens for numericals, where 2 parts are asked. You write the first part, you are happy you have got the answer, you forget that there's a second part to it. So therefore I told you, numericals cross check there and then itself. All right. Okay. So now I think you have got a broad idea of what is the marks distribution. You have got a broad idea of what is the question paper pattern. All right. Then presentation. All right. And I have given you a little bit idea of how you should manage the time where physics is concerned. Uh, Now let us go to other few things. I mean that you should know, a few suggestions from my side as a physics teacher. all right, to help you to try to get, like I said, that 70 out of 70 in the theory papers. So let's see what the first one is. Understand the question asked. Be aware of the marks given for a particular question. Now this becomes understand the question asked. Now this means, for example, I have the question given to me is state the laws of a simple pendulum. All right. Now when the question comes as state, that means you just have to make the statement. Now if I am asked state and explain, or they have asked you explain the laws of a simple pendulum, then you will have to write in details. Now when I say in details means, for example, you have the first law of the simple pendulum, all right, that the period of a simple pendulum is directly proportional, all right, to the square root of the length of the pendulum. So this is your first law. All right. Now, when they ask you explain, then you will have to write down T is equals to 2 pi root of L by G. G is constant, hence T is proportional to root L. That is how. So please understand, if they ask you state or have they asked you explain. All right. So that is very, very important. Another one I can tell you is, for example, let us say in beats, let's say they ask you state two applications of beats. That means two uses of beats. You just have to state. Let's say one use state is to determine the unknown frequency of a given object. And the second use is, all right, to tune in instruments, musical instruments. That is it. But if they ask you state and explain, all right, the application of beats, please mute yourself. Application of beats, explain. Then you have to at least write 2 or 3 sentences for each of the uses. So understand the question asked. See how many marks have been given for that particular question. Now, if you recollect the sample paper, that 1 mark question, that student had written the entire derivation. Now that thing was actually a 2, but then what she had written was for 2 marks. So you have to see how many marks is being allotted for that particular question. That becomes very important. So you have to understand that and accordingly write your answer. For a 2 mark question, if you write like a worth 4 mark question, you are losing time. All right. So this is what I wanted to tell you. Always write the numericals. This I already explained to you. Like, do not, at least if you write the formula also correctly, if the substitution is wrong, you will get half mark for the formula. If you directly, without writing the formula, you just write out substitution and it is wrong, then obviously you're going to get 0. So always write the formula. Very, very important. Then the next suggestion. Yes, this also I already have mentioned it to you. Units in the final answer have always to be written. So I won't go into that. Now there are further some more we would like to do. Section A. I already told you how to write the MCQs, how to write the very short answers. But as per me, that this is just a suggestion, just an advice. Please note, it is not essential that you have to do it. Preferably attempt it last. The reason being that suppose you are managing the time, all right, you are giving yourself say 35 minutes to this. Give the last 35 minutes to it. Because if you're stuck somewhere, all right, you don't know, the time will go away. And suddenly you will see that you have given yourself 45 minutes for section A. Whereas your others are remaining, and as a result, to hurry, mistake. So really, see, one other thing, please understand, you're given 10 minutes. So if you feel yes, MCQs are easy and you would like to attempt it first, please do. This is just a suggestion and or an advice from my side. It's not a compulsion. Numericals. Now, if you are good and confident about solving numericals, then whatever options are there, attempt numericals also. So, 5 numericals are given out of 12 questions in section B and section C, 5 are numericals. So, and numericals, if you tell me frankly, do not take much time if you are aware of what the formula is and you do your calculations correctly. So, if you attempt 5, then 3 theory you will attempt. So, you are getting a lot of time. So, if you are very good at numericals, all right, please do try to attempt the numericals. And yes, if there is time in hand, attempt extra questions. But what you do is leave a little space after for each section at the end. So in case you have time, you see, okay, I can attempt this, I can attempt that. So under those sections only, you write down the extra questions. Do not write it down separately later on. All right. That frankly irritates the examiner. So please see to it that you don't do that. Okay. So these are a few suggestions regarding how to write your paper. Now, next, I would like to just guide you a little bit about the chapters to study. Okay, so let's see. Now, in all, there are 16 chapters in physics. And can you see on the right hand side, there is marks, and again, the last column is marks with option. Please don't see the marks, that 70 marks. That is of no value to you. You should be concentrating on marks with option. That means what? That rotational dynamics with choice. In the question paper, there will be 7 marks worth of questions on rotational dynamics, 7 marks worth of mechanical properties of fluid, so on and so forth. So that is how you should prepare. Now you can see that certain chapters I have marked with red stars, and certain chapters, and red stars means I put 2 stars. That means what? As per me, my advice again to you is that you should be thorough in these topics. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 topics. Rotational dynamics, oscillations, superposition of waves, current electricity, electromagnetic induction, dual nature of radiation and matter, structure of atoms and nuclei. Now, these 7 topics, you try to be thorough, including the numericals. And if you're thorough, now, and for like I said, I'm not able to write it over here. So if I add up, see, I get 7 plus 5, 12, 12 plus 6, that is 18, 18 plus 6 is 24, 24 plus 7 is 31, 31 plus 5 is 36, 36 plus 6 is 42. All right. So with these topics, if you're very thorough with that, 42 marks are already in your bag, in your pocket. 42 marks. Now, after these 7 topics that you have, then I have marked the yellow ones. After that, attempt go to these yellow topics, yellow star topics. That is mechanical properties of fluid, kinetic theory of gases, wave optics, magnetic fields due to electric current. So again, my advice is first the red star topics you should be thorough in, then the yellow star topics. So that doesn't mean that you will overlook the topics which are not marked. So those are your secondary topics. You can at one time or the other keep one topic as option. If you're not attempting for that full 70 marks, then you can keep 1 or 2 topics as option. Option means study all the others. If you have time, go to it or at least touch. So the ones which are unmarked, all right, I'm not saying try to be thorough, but it's okay if you're not thorough with it. You should have an idea of the questions and the numericals also. I hope this is, somewhat clear. I'm repeating again that if you feel like asking questions at the end of this presentation, please feel free to ask. Now, again, let us see regarding these chapters, how to go about these chapters. Study those chapters first which you find easy. I have given you those star mark. That doesn't mean you have to go by that. Which you are comfortable with, always start with those chapters. That gives you the confidence. Theory as well as numericals of those chapters should be perfect. You should be absolutely perfect with these particular chapters. All right. So those marks are entirely in your pocket. You know that, yes, I am going to get those marks. Numericals will be asked only from the textbook. So that is one thing you are assured of. Solve the unsolved numericals and keep it, so that when you're going to study at the last moment, you just have to read through those. So when you're studying, see to it that you have already solved these numericals. Don't forget to practice the solved examples. Now in the textbook, in the theory part, there will be boxes you will see, and in those boxes, examples have been solved. So please don't forget to practice those as well. Those along with the unsolved numericals, right? Those will be asked in the exam. And yes, it doesn't mean exactly the same values will be put. They might give you different values, but the questions will be the same type. Practice a few with log tables. Now, tendencies, we know that you all are bogged down with what? You will have physics, you have chemistry, you have maths, you will have biology. All right, you might be having a vocational subject, that is computer science or electrical, whatever. All right, so you have a lot of subjects to study. So definitely when you're doing the sums, you might use the calculator just to cross check the answer. That's fine. But see to it that at least one numerical you solve using the log, so that you are habituated to using the log tables. And finally, MCQs are asked only from the textbook. All right. In the board paper, I'm not talking of your entrance exams. So in the board, HSC board exam, MCQs are asked only from the textbook. So the thing is that just read through the textbook once, not each and every sentence, but you should know that, okay, this, you should have an idea of the content of the textbook. All right. So these are a few suggestions from my side. And if any one of you have any questions, Gole ma'am, can you see into that, please, if there are anyone?
Yeah. Students, if you have any questions, you can put it on the chat. Madam, can you
Yes,
have
ma'am.
you told them about the reduced portion?
No, the reduced portion I have not told that. I think, ma'am, like I said, I will be giving the, as per the red star topics, I'll
Yeah.
be giving the important questions. So
Okay.
that time for each of those topics, I will be giving what all are
Yeah.
deleted from it, ma'am.
Okay.
So that will be easy for them also to handle. They
Okay.
can know which topics have not to be studied.
Okay. I don't find any questions in the chat box, which means
Okay, ma'am.
somebody has.
Okay, they must be tired also. So that's okay.
No,
So
more than that, I feel that they must have understood whatever you have told
yeah.
them.
So
That shows
yeah.
that you are very, very clear. Your thoughts were
Ma'am,
clear.
Yeah. Yes,
Somebody,
I
ma'am,
think there's a question. Yes, yes.
yes, ma'am. I had a doubt whether how to solve study for concept-based questions.
See, concept-based questions means the textbook is whatever you are studying in, that is the concepts. And the questions that will be asked, the questions that can come are going to be the theoretical questions, are all concept-based questions. See, you will see basically when you're studying for the board, you're studying the theory, and that theory, if you have understood the concepts, you should be able to answer any concept based questions. Please understand that. And yes, I would like to tell you one more thing, that there are a few mistakes here and there in the textbook. So I hope you all are aware of it. If need be, I will try my level best to point out the mistakes if possible, but please see into that. All right. And concept physics, you understand physics, your concept is clear. If your concept is clear, any question related to the concept is going to be, you will be able to answer uh, without any doubt. I'm sure without any difficulty. And yes, another thing, whoever asked the question, that please just don't study the questions that are behind the textbook. Okay, because what we have noticed is that they have not covered the entire theory of a given chapter in the questions. All right, so please see to it that whatever is there in the theory part, all right, the derivations and everything, you are aware of that. Don't think that whatever is given in the behind the textbook, the questions, only those questions will be asked. Therefore, like I've spoken to Gole ma'am, I will be giving important questions for the all the topics in part by part. I will be sending it to ma'am, and ma'am will do the needful. Anything
Okay.
else?
Ma'am, and
Anything?
can we write in our own words?
Yes, you can. See, as long as it is valid, all right. In physics, we do not say that word to word has to be from the textbook. All right. You can, it is better to write in your own words. Try not to memorize. That's a very good question you have asked. May I know your name, please?
Ruchira Purohit.
Ruchira. Yes, Ruchira, very good question. Please do not memorize. In physics, you need not memorize. Once you have got, like Ruchira had asked about the concept, you can write in your own words. But yes, the derivation has to be a proper derivation. All right, there are one derivation can be written in 2 or 3 ways. As long as that derivation, it is a valid method that you're doing, you will be given credit for it. Even if it is not the textbook derivation, if it is a simpler one, you will be given credit for it. That goes without fail. Okay, anything else?
No, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Ruchira. Thank you. Anybody else would like to ask something?
There's one question here, ma'am. Do we have to check the links given in the textbook in internet?
No need. Don't waste time, please. Don't waste time. All those links you can do after your board exams. For now, you are concentrating on writing the board paper. Those links are just to tell from where they have taken the reference. So please don't go to cross check anything, my dears. That you don't waste time. You don't have time. Please understand that your time is limited. Of course, I mean, so you have to time yourself, prepare a timetable. I'm sure all this has been told to you. Please don't waste your time with those links. Anything else? Anybody?
Is that clear, Advait? Do we have to study? Can you recall?
No, you don't have to study. Can you recall? It has been told that you have to only study the boxes in which examples are there. That's all. Nothing else. Only the examples in the boxes. That's all.
Okay, ma'am, will questions be asked from the did you know or try this part?
No, nothing. That's what I'm saying. All those are boxes, activity, and try this and do you know this? Nothing of those. I'm repeating only examples, numericals which are there in the boxes, solved numericals. Please stick to that only. Nothing else is going to be asked.
Is that clear, students? I'm sure
Anything
you must have understood. Yes. Can we get all MCQs of textbook at one place or page?
Means I didn't get that. They want the answers. They want the answers to the MCQs.
Are MCQs of the textbook in one particular place? No, I don't think, because it differs on the chapter, so it will be spread out throughout the book.
Yes. It is like different MCQs. Yeah, that we cannot do. It is not possible to give like that. Anything else, ma'am?
Will there be previous year's questions for section A, like in 10th standard?
No. It will all be restricted to the textbook. And due to this pandemic, to be honest, they are going to keep, I mean, they will not want to tax the children. So it is going to be just from the textbook, nothing else.
Yes. So students don't read number of reference books.
Yes,
that you
yes.
can do after your board exams are over.
Yes, exactly.
Right now,
Yes.
for the board exam, just concentrate on your textbook, because once the school colleges reopen, teachers will be only rushing to complete the portion and complete your practicals.
Yes.
So with whatever limited time you have, study the textbook thoroughly and the basic concept. That is very, very essential.
Correct.
Based on
Okay,
this concept, you're automatically preparing for your MSCT also. So
Correct.
give weightage to your textbook. That will cover the entire portion. All the doubts will be clear.
Ma'am,
I think, yes, sir. Yes.
do last year questions repeat, in the sense, means this year 2020 February, so will it be repeated in next
No, see,
year?
actually yours is a new syllabus, right? This year it's a new syllabus. All right. So it could be possible because most topics are there, some topics are not there. All right, could be, but please don't refer to those questions. All right, it will not be asked because it's a new syllabus, and hence questions that are going to be there will be same questions. There will be a number of eight of see 60% of the questions will be of the previous syllabus only, but the remaining 40% will be new. So please don't refer to the last year's question papers and all. Just get an idea of the MCQs and all those. You can, but as such, don't think, okay, if that was asked last year, this year it will not be asked. Please don't take those chances.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay, whether the board exams to be conducted 15 days later, we have no idea when the board exam will be conducted,
Yes, ma'am.
but it will be definitely held. As I told you in the beginning itself, it could be delayed by or 2 weeks, or it could be delayed by 3 weeks. It all depends on when the colleges start, when we
Start, yes.
finish our practicals, and the board gives us a definite idea as to how to go about the examination. I think the next question is again repeated. Ma'am, in MCQ, if there is a fill in the blank, even then should we prefer not to write the sentence?
Yes, no need to write the sentence. See, let me tell you, in commerce, in commerce section, they write the statement and then they'll write the question and then they write the answer. But in physics, at least, I'm very sure, I can guarantee you 100%, you just have to write that answer number, whether it's A, B, C or D, and the answer. That is more than enough. That's it, more than enough. Please don't waste your time writing those statements. They take a lot of time.
Yeah, okay. I think we should wind up because
Yes.
we have another session at 2:30.
Ma'am, just 2 minutes. Can I just 1 minute, ma'am?
Yeah.
Okay. Because yeah. So thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. I thank the Falashruti panel also for giving me this opportunity to guide the students. I hope children, you have. I mean, a lot of your doubts have been clarified. If not, Gole ma'am is there. You can approach her, and I'm sure she will clear your doubts. I wish you best of luck, and please stay safe. Most important. So thank you very much. Thank you,
Yeah.
Gole ma'am. I'll just
Yes.
stop the
On
screen share.
behalf of Falashruti, I wish to thank Sharmisha madam for spending a valuable Sunday, and yes, and she has given the best of her knowledge. It's not only the marks which are important, even the depth of knowledge which she has shared with you, and I'm sure that the students are immensely going to benefit with your knowledge that you have shared.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thank you once again. And students, let us conclude with today's session now this afternoon. We'll meet again at 2:30 for our next very important session, which is also going to be very interesting, and that could be mathematics. Thank you once again, Sharmisha madam. And dear students, you have your lunch. Don't eat too much, otherwise you'll feel sleepy for your math lectures. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Sagama